through this quarantine, I've been like really on my self cut because being locked down. Whew. Okay, and we're back. We are on set. This is my bedroom, the YouTube set. So back to this lens. This lens is a beast. The build quality is amazing. One thing about it that I love is how light it is. So my first lens for the Sony a7 III was a Sigma 35mm f1.4, and that was a quality lens, tack sharp, but it was very heavy, very heavy. This is a Sony G Master native lens, and it is very light. Even with the lens hood off, hold on, let me take the lens hood off, and the cap and the back. So you see how small it is. It's very small, very light, but the quality is amazing. Like, I'm telling you, this lens is so quality. The one thing about this lens though, I'd say, is the price. It is a hefty price point, but hey, Sony full frame glass is expensive. But back to the features on this, the aperture ring is actually on the lens itself. So usually you would, let me get my camera right here, my B cam. So usually what you would do is you would use the dials on your body to actually change the aperture. But it being on the lens now, like, let me actually put this on the camera so I can show you what I'm talking about. I can actually now record my video and move the lens, adjust the aperture very quietly and very strategically. So as I'm like zooming in with the camera, let's say I'm trying to pan in, pan in. I am now coming in and I can move the aperture to adjust to any lighting condition, anything, right? So you can see right here how it just moves. You know what I mean? It's a really dope feature. Like, a camera at a lesser price point won't have this feature. So you are paying for certain things like that. Also, the aperture ring has a click off and on button. So if you click it on, you will hear, actually, if you can hear it, you will hear the ring moving. But obviously when you're shooting a video, you wouldn't want to hear that. So you'll click it off and then you can't hear it. It's smooth. So there's that feature. Also, there is a customizable button that you can actually map any setting from your a7 III or whatever Sony camera you have to it. So while you're moving in action, you're recording, you can have a button here, like a focus hold or something. So it's a dope feature. So one thing about this lens is it's a f1.4, meaning it opens up wide and bright. You get a lot of bokeh, a lot of blurry background, but f1.4 sometimes is a little bit too open depending on situation. On a nice lit up room like this, if I'm filming a YouTube video, I would not use a 1.4. I'd use like a 2.8 maybe to get me right in focus, nice and sharp all the way around. But in low light, in a nighttime setting, f1.4 is amazing. You get a lot of light and you don't have to crank your ISO up. That's one little con, but also a pro to the 24mm G Master lens. So now to compare the 24mm G Master to the Tamron 28-75 lens, of course this is a prime versus a zoom. The prime 24mm is tack sharp, much sharper than the Tamron, but the Tamron is at a better price point and you get more focal range. So you get 24, 28, 35, 50, 65 to 75. So it's dope for an all-around lens, but if I'm gonna shoot, let's say on my gimbal, I'm bringing this lens for sure. That's it. I need my 24mm and I'm good. But let's say I'm shooting a portrait, 24mm is a bit wide. Come on, it's very wide. But if you're going for that style of portrait with a wide angle lens, it's dope. To show you some quality pictures I've taken with this lens, let's bring it up on the screen right here. All right, so the first shot is taken in my boy's gym. It's an action shot of him doing a drill. So you can see that the colors coming out of this lens are dope. It's sharp all the way through. Usually with the 24mm, you will see a little bit of distortion because of how wide it is. But on this shot, you don't see no distortion. It looks nice, true to eye. It's nice and sharp all the way through. Second shot, it's a nice little portrait of these three children I took a shot of. The colors are amazing. This shot was edited in Lightroom, so I did bring up the reds a little bit, but you can just see how sharp this lens is. Like, it's just amazing. The skin tones are dope. It's sharp all the way through, all four corners. It's butter. So now to get into the video side of this lens is a dope video lens. Let's look how sharp this is filming this podcast that me and my boy shot. If you haven't watched the podcast, it'll be linked in the description below. Also, there'll be an info card to the top right, so you can watch it. But yeah, look at this shot. It's filmed at f1.4. and it is catching us beautifully. We're in focus, and one dope thing about the lens is the contrast. I've noticed that the lens contrast is beautiful. It's much more contrasty than the Tamron, and I love it. I love it. So I will recommend this lens to any video shooter as well as photo or even hybrid. So guys, there you have it, the 24mm G Master lens from Sony. It's expensive, but it is worth it. It's a beast, I'm telling you. Believe me on this. This lens is something to save up for. And hey, also, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you like these videos, there's gonna be more content about camera stuff, camera gear, in the field, out the field, a lot of things on this channel. So stay tuned. Manny DC5 out.